praises and honor and glory to
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders and the bishops, great millstone, who do well and have taught us his word in truth and sincerity and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. That's also pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the whole face of the earth. And as well as the rest of you that sincerely believe, peace and mercy to you and your household. So, yeah, man, today's blowing the memorial of the trumpets. And, we're here in 2024 as Apostle Heart has dubbed this year the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And that's what we pray for, man. That's what we pray and cry aside for. It's the destruction of this wicked ass kingdom, which is ruled by Esau Edom, right? The so-called white man. Now, can you get Leviticus? I think it's Leviticus for blowing the trumpet. Leviticus 23. It's 7 or 9, one of those two. And then to mine, you can look up the word memorial in etymology. And then I got something here for blowing the trumpets because it's actually a beautiful thing in terms of this
23, 24.
23, 24. What? So you can read that real quick. Just so you newcomers, this is a part of our customs, okay? As the law says that we're to keep these high holy days wherever we are in every generation. But
Leviticus 23 and 23. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh.
right, so it's also a Shabbat. Now, funny enough, in the spirit, the new Shabbat falls in tonight, comes in tonight. So, it's lining up beautifully. Now, for mine, you get that word memorial?
God. Memorial, and this is from the Edom Online, and I also got the biblical definition also. This is memorial or memorable, excellent, also remembered, committed to memory.
So memorial goes into memory, right? Committed to memory. And Habad Yehuda, Isaiah 1 and 9. And then you got the biblical definition, right?
Right. So the token of remembrance.
A token of remembrance.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna bring this out in terms of what does blowing a trumpet mean? What's the sign? The act of blowing the trumpet. What does that go into? So blowing trumpets, it says to talk about oneself or one's achievements, especially in a way that shows that one is proud of. He had a very successful year. It's an example. He had a very successful year and has every right to blow his trumpet, his own trumpet. So, putting those two words together, man, it's a remembering of whose achievements, not us, right, but the Heavenly Father and His Son. Right? As we go into the name, we always push your name, starting with the apostles and elders on down, right? And that name going to Shun, right? It means also goes into reputation. So what we're going to talk about is the reputation of the Heavenly Father and His Son. And the achievements that the Heavenly Father has done, right, with His glorious power for the children of Israel, starting with the hopeful elect. You can get Isaiah.
Isaiah 1 and 9.
Yeah.
So this is Isaiah 1 and 9. Except the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts, had left unto us a very small remnant. We should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
Right. And, it wasn't just Sodom and Gomorrah, but Sodom and Gomorrah and the other 5 cities surrounding them were destroyed by the Heavenly Father. Right? So right now, within the nation of Israel, there's a small cluster, right, named called as the elect, the hopeful elect, the remnant, that's bringing back that memorial of the Heavenly Father and His Son. And bringing back the remembrance of the Heavenly Father and His Son through the words of the Heavenly Father and His Son. Okay? Precept?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jude 1 and 5. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once know this, how the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroying them that believe not.
Beautiful, man. And what better way to bring up, the achievements of the Heavenly Father and His Son than to start off on what He did with Egypt. As we are in the second Egypt, spiritual Rome, Babylon, all those wicked kingdoms in one cluster coming back. And the Most High is preparing his second Exodus, man. And this is going to be the destruction, right? To end all destructions, man, to end all wickedness. And it's going to bring glory to his name once again and his son's name, right? And then the whole elect right under them. I'm going to get this. I'm going to go into Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12. And I'll start from 1. And it says here, for thy incorruptible spirit is in all things, therefore chasteneth thou them by little and little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance wherein they have offended.
So that remembrance is basically taking back antiquity, that deluge, the great flood,
Right.
when the Most High was, perturbed with the inhabitants of the earth at that point. Right? You gotta remember the Most High is not all about love, it's one-sided power. He is just power. So we that are in fear of the Most High, which is a gift, right? That fear that we have and we show forth, it's a gift, right? And it's basically highlighting wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
That's right. Yeah. That's
Right. So the remembrance is to think back, right, of what happened in the old world,
Right.
right? And the old world, the Most High, we know he don't play. He was also called El Shaddai, which translates to what? Demon-like power.
That's right. That's right.
You see that?
And that's a good point, you're bringing up the remembrance, because when you break apart the word respect, it means to look back. Reading back, respect the look. So we're putting respect on the Most High's name, right? And his son's name by looking back at their achievements, and their glorious power and the things they've done. Okay. It goes on to say, remembrance wherein they have offended.
That's right. So the word of that boy offended the Most High. As Noah, right? He was out there prophesying,
Right.
Telling them about the rain, right? Trying to describe that water to fall out of the sky.
That's right.
They're trying to know Noah like it's food.
That's right.
Right? As into what we're doing today, saying, picking up the missiles.
That's right.
So rain missiles down.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So we're in the remembrance, man, and it's not only good things. Right? It's not all the good things. We focus also on the bad.
That's right.
All right. We're now in the house of what? Not mirth, but the house of mourning. Right? We represent that.
That's right. And it says that leaving their wickedness, they may believe on thee, O Lord. How about you, Shai?
That's right. And that's what you're seeing manifest in your eyes reading these videos. We have left the wickedness of the mindset of Esau's spirit. Esau's spirit right now would have us, buying some liquor, going downtown, going different places, gathering,
Black culture.
black culture, looking at man's woman, like when you hit that,
Yeah.
get her drunk.
That's right.
And she has, like a husband, whatever.
Mhm.
So this is a setting that's intimate. That's why you don't see a bunch of people knocking the door. Hey, what are you guys doing?
Mhm.
You're not welcome. We're kind of standoffish. Hey, who are you?
That's right.
That's right. That's the spirit that we're in.
Yep.
Okay.
And it goes on to say, for it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land, right? Which we know those are the Canaanites, whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices, right? And just like they were doing that in the Holy Land back then, they're doing that now. They're doing it in the Holy Land now. They're doing it in Egypt now. All these wicked. This place is laden, okay, with witchcraft and sorcery, And it says, verse 5, and also those miracles, those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh, and the feast of blood.
Yeah, the cannibals, right? They ate human flesh.
That's right.
Right, and Esau, he adopted a lot of the Canaanite knowledge. Right, he practices, he furthers that, because a lot of that witchcraft, the sex magic, and the occult, it goes back to Canaan.
Mhm.
Right, the parasites, the Gergesites, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's where you get that symbol of Ronald McDonald today. The rot with the red around his mouth and his nose, that's him indulging in eating raw flesh.
Right. And now they're putting it in the food. Everyone's indulging in it by not even knowing. You know?
That's right. It goes on to say, verse 6, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands and souls destitute for help. We gotta get this in GMT as well.
I got it if you
Okay,
read it, because I was already looking at it.
Okay, go ahead.
So that was
It's
Wisdom of
verse-
Solomon
yeah.
12. And I'll start verse 1, I guess, right?
Go on.
So it says, GNT, Wisdom of Solomon 12:1. Your immortal spirit is in every one of them, and so you gently correct those who sin against you. You remind them of what they are doing and warn them about it, so that they may abandon their evil ways and put their trust in you, Lord.
Right.
Verse 3, you hated the people who lived in your holy land long ago because they did horrible things. They practiced magic and conducted unholy worship. They killed children without mercy and ate the flesh and blood of human beings. They were initiated into secret rituals, right? And that's where Esau gets his masonry, right? Which masonry goes back to Amalek as well, right? Into the Kabbalah, different things like that, right? But it all stems back from older times, Phoenicians, which are Canaanites, which mixed with Jake as well, right? But the Canaanites, they had a system, man.
That's right.
They had a lot of different rituals, which we're reading about.
And what was his name that basically forces them? Yeah, he was a Hamite too. Babylon. What's his name? Nimrod.
Oh, Nimrod.
Nimrod.
Oh, yeah.
Nimrod was like the father of all that.
That goes back to,
Right back,
to Nimrod,
yeah, that's right.
which Nimrod, they carried the knowledge of the old world before the flood,
Right.
the pre-flood world,
That's right. Yep.
right? Which was even heavier, right?
That's right. Come on.
Verse 6, it says, in which parents murdered their own defenseless children, right? And you can look up archaeological sites,
Right.
where they found infant remains, right? Burnt up or just whatever, killed, the throat slashed,
Right.
right? The door's open, right?
Yeah.
So that shows you they were about a week old.
Yeah.
Just a week, within a week, right? And if you brothers watch that new thing on Netflix, Chaos.
Oh, I haven't
I
watched
don't know if you
it
guys seen that,
yet. I
man.
haven't
That
watched
shit's
it yet.
that shit's crazy. It's dark comedy, but
Yeah.
they're really just pushing everything out.
Okay.
How much about that?
Yes.
Right, they're pushing everything out. Pretty much the guy from, if you guys remember Jurassic Park, the first one,
Yeah.
the Amalekite
Bloom?
with the glasses.
Oh.
He plays Zeus in this
Oh,
new
okay.
in this
Jeff
new series.
Goldblum.
Jeff the water, yeah.
Right.
He plays Zeus, and they have Dionysus, his son, in there,
Wow.
and it's like people are living like today's world, but the gods are up there pretty much.
Right.
And they in the first episode, I'm not gonna get too much, but in the first episode, they have the TV, and they're like, and for this year's annual human sacrifice, we have Amy or whatever, and they're showing you everything.
Come on.
It's dark comedy, but they're just pushing everything
out
out,
there.
they're showing you everything. Right?
Come on.
That's how pretty much people lived back then.
That's right.
So it says, verse 6, in which parents murdered their own defenseless children. It was your will for our ancestors to destroy these people,
Yep.
so that the land which you consider the most precious of all lands would be a suitable home for your people. But even in this, you showed mercy toward their enemies, since they were only human beings. You sent hornets ahead of your army to destroy the enemy gradually. You could have allowed the righteous to destroy those ungodly people in battle. You could have wiped them out immediately with wild animals or with one harsh command, but instead you carried out your sentence gradually
That's right.
to give them a chance to repent, even though you knew that they come from evil stock,
Right.
that they had been wicked since birth, and that they would never change their way of thinking.
Right. The Most High does that. He's a balanced power. You know, and then therefore, when everything's brought to light, you can't complain. You have nothing to say. The Most High gave you time, and you didn't do it. But that's the deeper knowledge of this truth: is that there are spirits and people made just to be wicked, And then there's spirits that people made to be righteous.
And that's the
just
thing.
how it
That's
goes.
the thing in the world where they question, or are we born good or bad?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Are we? Do we take on the environment? And a lot of those factors matter, of course,
Yeah.
your environment.
Yeah.
But everyone is born in their lot.
That's
That's what Esau can never understand, because he's the carnal man.
Con.
He's not a spiritual man. I'm going to read a couple more verses. Verse 11: their whole nation was cursed from the start, right? Canaan, right? A servant of servants, right?
Yeah.
And though you had not punished them for their sins, it was not because you were afraid of anyone. You created those wicked people, and no one can speak in their defense or condemn you for destroying them. No one can question what you have done or challenge your judgment. All things are under your care, and there is no other God to whom you must justify your decisions. No king or ruler on earth can accuse you of punishing those people unfairly. You are righteous and you rule everything righteously. You have never used your power to condemn a person who does not deserve to be punished. Right? That's pretty.
Yeah, that's basically it. And precepts? Okay, I'm gonna go.
I have Ezekiel 37 because that's the ultimate remembrance. Right? The dry bones.
Yep.
Waking back up.
Yeah, that's another great work of the Lord. You know, something that to remember, like you just said.
Kind of sort of one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ezekiel 37:1, the hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, right? Which, this is the representation of the 12 tribes of Israel, mainly the elect, right? And caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O power to Yahweh, thou knowest. Again, he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord.
Yeah, and that low valley that Ezekiel saw represented America. The United States of America, low morally, religiously, spiritually, everything about it is low. It's on a low vibration, and that's a heavy deception that Esau has been given power to do, because people are living, they're living at the height of their so-called life in a low vibration. So everything is backward. That's why the scriptures say folly is set in great dignity. They're proud of their wickedness.
And everybody in the world, when they're looking for relief, they want to run to America to pursue a so-called better life.
Yeah, and that's fleeting now.
And be accepted for who they are. If you
Yeah,
can't
it's true.
count
Yeah,
on
it's true. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Thus saith the Lord, power unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live.
So it's a separation. So here you have this Israelite country trying to save all black people, but the Most High is saying, I'll cause breath to enter into you, and that use being specific to a number, right? Because only a few, mainly the 1/3, is going to, shout forth the truth. They're going to say, these men are talking different than other people.
Yeah.
Right? These men are subscribing to the way of the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Sending out a different vibration.
That's right.
And we know that breath goes into the doctrine.
That's right.
Right? So that goes into the teaching, how they be speaking, what holy conversation you ought to be.
That's right.
You look at these other Israelite camps and their leaders, they don't got no breath. They're dry bones, really.
They're still dead. They're not living.
That's right.
And I will lay sinews upon you, and I will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you.
That skin is going to give you like your heritage, give them your customs, right? What we did in ancient world and who we pray to, we've been used to Yahweh Shai, right? We left that JC guy out of here, right? All of them, it's like other doctrine, we were a doctrine, we leave it alone and come back to the Bible, right? And apply it. So it's one thing to know what it says in there, but application is necessary.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's where the fire comes in. What you have there, you mentioned the breath, right? Yeah, so the theme of the fire is very important. That's how we started off for you folks to understand what's going on, and it came out clear there the separation that the Lord has made. So I have Matthew right? He's prophesying here, Matthew 3 and 11, right? And 12, okay? So it says, I indeed baptize you with water, right? This is John the Baptist, right? Going into that. It says, unto repentance, but that he that cometh after me is mightier than I, right? Whose shoes I am not worthy to bear. He shall baptize you with the Rakakodash, I'm going to say it that way, and with fire. Okay, so that fire is going to bring separation as well, which goes into, simply put, right? He's just simply saying the power of the Rakakodash. He's going to bring upon the elect, right?
Yep, and the message.
Yeah.
Right? You need, like, it's very important to stress the message, because right now we have all these wayward doctrines. You know, you can have sex on the Sabbath. The full moon is the new moon. This, that, and the third. It's a laundry list of bullshit that we're talking about. So the scripture said that by roughly paraphrasing, by hearing the word, right, their faith was ignited, roughly paraphrasing, and you know, they stood upon their feet, and you know, all this, that, and the third. So if you're not hearing the correct message, how is any of that going to happen? The correct message needs to be spoken for you to be sealed ultimately, if you're on the whole full left.
And it's very precise.
Yeah.
Right? Because like you got the radio, you got 91.1,
Yeah.
0.2.
Right.
You know, you tune it a little bit, and it's off,
Right.
and then you got to tune it right back to the right pitch.
That's right.
It's the same thing with this truth, right? So people that disregard, for example, the writings of Paul,
Right.
right, when they say you can prophesy with your head covered,
Right. Yeah.
right, or say, oh, this is controversial like that. Well, you already know that person's frequency is off.
That's right.
It's
What
not
we have-
on.
so like, you know, there's what we have is a set apart message, set apart prophecies, set apart word for set apart people.
That's right.
Exactly, that's what's being read here, because he was speaking to his disciples. Simply put, right? What John the Baptist there was saying, but it was the disciples that he was speaking to, so it's specific, right? It's going to be straight, right? But real quick, I just wanted to say this, right, in regards to the fire, and in regards to what you just mentioned here, in regards to, simply put, all this false doctrines around. One of the things is that these false teachers are doing, they're trying to make the prophets say what they're not saying, things that they're not saying, right? That's why I told you about Psalm 74 and 17, right? They're trying to say that the prophet is saying that the world is flat. Yeah, by quoting that scripture. So I'm just saying that to say this fire, man, hey, that's the same fire that's going to destroy you people, because he said it, right? In Matthew 5 and 22. Let me read that real quick, and then I'll read a point. It says, but I say unto you, whosoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of his judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, right, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Right, I read that, right, because, you know, going into it, the Lord is speaking to his men. So it's a solemn counsel to his men. Hey, but you people, the fire is waiting for you.
Yeah, they're in danger of that, because how do you blame someone who's telling you the truth? Right? Well, how do you blame someone who's just telling you the truth? So for your blame to claim, right? That person has to be going on, right? But the scriptures say that no guile came out of their mouth in Revelation. So you can't blame the hopeful elect if they're telling you the truth. So you're in danger of that.
Galatians 4:16.
Right.
How to become your enemy.
That's right. Yeah, I told you the truth.
That was it, Mark?
Yeah, that's
That
it.
was it. This is Luke chapter 7 and 31. It says in the King James, and the Lord said, whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation? And to what are they like? They are like unto children sitting in the marketplace and calling one another and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned to you, and ye have not wept. And I'll read it in the NLT as well. Yahushua in verse 31, to what can I compare the people of this generation? Yahushua asked, how can I describe them? They are like children playing a game in the public square. They complained to their friends. We played wedding songs and you didn't dance. So we played funeral songs and you didn't weep.
Mm.
For John the Baptist for John the Baptist didn't spend his time eating bread or drinking wine, and you say he's possessed by a demon. The Son of Man, on the other hand, feasts and drinks, and you say he's a glutton and a drunkard,
Right.
and a friend of tax collectors and other sinners. But wisdom is shown to be right by the lives of those who follow it.
That's it. That's it. The fruits of the spirit. Hopefully, I can live by the fruits of the spirit, man. You know, though the rest of Israel will blame them, you know, and condemn them, they're justified in the eyes of the Heavenly Father, man. You know, so that's just what it is. Let the mind finish.
And the Lord called them children, man. He
God,
said, how can I describe the men? They're like children.
yeah,
Right? So you're very silly, man.
yeah, kind of.
I can add on to that real quick because pretty much the time you come into the truth, that's how long you've been in the truth. That's your new age.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
somebody might be a year old, 2 years old. You're a toddler in this thing. You're children. Huh? You're 15 years old. You're a teen. You know. So that's what we got to put off the old way from the world. Things that we knew in the world, we got to put on what we know now according to the scriptures.
Right.
So,
Verse 7, so prophesy as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there were a noise, and behold, the shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I behold, lo, the sinews of the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them.
You see? So it's a difference. So that's why the apostles, the elders go into it. It's deeper than just knowing you're an Israelite. Because, yeah, you got your skin on, you know the customs, you know, whatever, you bun this, bun that, right? But the breath goes back to this, what's the message that you're teaching?
Yeah.
The breath that's coming out of your mouth has to be the same breath that Heavenly Father gave to the Son, gave the Holy Spirit down to the rest. So you call yourself an Israelite, but you're speaking the wrong message. Well, guess what? You have no breath in you. That's right. You might be covered in skin, but you're empty, man.
Quick precept for you, bro. It's Wisdom of Solomon. Brother knows one. Wisdom of Solomon.
7:24.
7:24. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore, can no defiled thing fall into her. Right? So it is basically illustrating and highlighting what the breath is. Right?
Right.
Is the wisdom of Heavenly Father.
That's right. Yeah.
Real quick, that whole shaking and the whole insinuating and everybody coming together, that didn't happen overnight either. Because when you go into the history, especially over here in North America with Judah, predominantly, they went through a lot of things to get to that point. So
Right.
what we're really reading about is really an evolution, right? So this didn't happen overnight because you had Jake go through so much identity crisis, and they're still going through that, right? But only the elect is going to wake up because you have Jake calling themselves colored, they're calling themselves Negro, then you're African American, then you're now black, right? Now you're nothing. Some of you guys are just labeling yourselves X.
They call them a foundational, what do you call them?
Foundational black
FBA
American.
Yeah, yeah. And then you had all these movements that came out of Judah, the NAACP, you had Black Panthers.
Yeah.
So through that, they came to find their identity, and that happened in what, the late 60s, early 70s. And then a lot of Israelites started coming into the fold and knowing who they were. I have a quick precept, real quick. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. And it says, all scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of the Most High may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. And that's going back into the word, right? Because Brother Kazak just read in Wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter, about how when it goes through you, it's very pure, right? So basically, you're getting really a cleansing. And the ones that are pure enough to understand it, they're going to get it and they're going to stand up on their 2 feet. And they're going to come to the realization that, hey, man, I'm an Israelite. I have to serve the Heavenly Father. But that's only a select few. But I want to also just bring up, it said thoroughly furnished, because that's very important. Thoroughly furnished just simply means to be completed, right? So when you hear this truth, and if you're an Israelite, if you're of the elect, you're going to be completed. And that's what happened to us. Something just clicked. We got it. We stood on our 2 feet, and then we just changed our ways. Do you know how much of a miracle that is?
Yep.
For you to just change what you were doing years ago, all those bad habits that you were doing. Now you're complete. Reminds me of that villain, a villain in Dragon Ball Z named Cell. Remember, he went through his imperfection, he went through his first form, second form, then he got that final form, then he really had another final form after that. Super perfect Cell.
Perfect Cell.
Yeah, that's us, getting that perfect state. Right?
And he was green.
Yeah.
Jake, a lot of times depicted as green. Blue.
Piccolo too.
It's like the process of creating a diamond, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you read furnished, right? You have furniture,
Yep.
right? You have different pieces you put together, assemble, and it's a rough copy. And then you got to sand everything and polish it,
Right.
and then it becomes furniture, ready
Right.
furniture.
That's right.
It takes a lot of process, man. It takes a lot of work.
That's
Those
right.
people that make Amish or carpentry, they take great pride because it's a skill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like a factory. The person actually crafts furniture.
Right.
It's a craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let mine finish.
So our prophet has commanded me, and the breath came into them.
Oh, and like Gabar Slack, Gabar was mentioning about Judah. You had even like Abba Bibbins.
Yep.
They took a lot of stuff from Amalek at first because
Yeah,
there was no other option. They had to learn
Yeah.
the Syrian and the Torah.
Yeah.
They call themselves the commandment keepers.
That's right.
There was a process of that.
Yeah.
And then the Lord specifically doubled that, man.
Mm-hmm.
He said, no, there's more. There's other Israelites. There's more knowledge, and then it became a process. Then you have those other men, great men, Ariad,
Yeah.
Masha, and
Yeah.
Yaquab,
Yeah, because they just dealt with the Old Testament. It was him that went into the New Testament. You have to be spiritual, man. You have the ears to hear and the eyes to see.
And then I believe there's a story Apostle Tahar mentions about, I think, who was it? Elder Yaquab. I think he was in a bar. He was a taxi man or something like that. And I think he was in a bar, and pretty much there was Judah, Reuben, Gad, maybe Ephraim. And then and a man came up to him. It was pretty much an angel. He said, "Look, all these people here, they're all Israelites. Right? They're all Israelites." So there's a lot of spiritual things that people like vocab. Oh yeah, that didn't happen. They can't. You know what I mean? Like they'll answer shit. Oh, these guys. They'll trace the history of carnally of the history of the Israelites.
Yeah.
But those spiritual little things, they can never
grasp that. Yeah. Go ahead. Then sorry, you can get yours.
Okay. Says here, thus saith verse 10, and they lived and stood up on their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel.
That links up with Revelation. What is that? 11,
11.
right? That's what you're thinking about. The graves,
Yeah.
right?
And also it's going in a spiritual sense when Yahweh came out, and then those spirits came on back.
Yep.
Where
Came out,
that came from.
Oh yeah. Out of the graves.
Yes, resurrected.
John 5:20-25 as well.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh yes, so the rose according to the Older of Black mentioned in Genesis 3 and 15 in NLT, and it reads, "For jealousy and selfishness I know a house kind of wisdom, such things and earlies unspiritual and demonic." Because we know some of the other camps, they're not spiritual, it's just demonic teachings. Otherwise, verse 16, for wherever there is a jealousy and selfish ambition, then there you will find disorder and evil in every kind. We know there's disorder in these other camps, right? Verse 17, is the point. But the wisdom from above is first of all pure. It is also peace, loving, and gentle in all times, and will align to yield to others. It is full of mercy and good deeds.
Yeah.
It shows no favoritism and always sincere. So when we come to this truth, we always sincere to each other.
Yeah.
Other than the camp, we just lying and going around, and,
Right.
trying to get the best from you.
That's right. Yeah. It's just like what you said earlier, pride and selfishness. Because to do all those things, you have to be humble.
Right.
To be someone who always wants to seek peace, you have to be humble. Because sometimes that means you're gonna have to take the low.
That's right.
You know, you're gonna have to like take a hit and be like, all right,
Turn the
whatever.
other cheek.
Yeah, exactly. Turn the other
The
cheek.
door's open.
You know, so to be sincere, you got to be humble too. All those things. So yeah, you're right.
At the end of the day, you gotta, answer to the big man.
Exactly.
Was that scripture, grudge not one against another, for the
Yeah.
judge standeth at the door?
That's right. Yeah.
That was it, Ashok?
Yeah, that was it.
I got a precept, brothers, break it down, interject when you want. Isaiah 48:1 in the NLT. It says, listen to me, O family of Jacob, you who are called by the name of Israel and born into the family of Judah. Listen, you who take oaths in the name of the Lord Yahweh and call on the power of Israel. You don't keep your promises. Even though you call yourself the holy city and talk about depending on the power of Israel, whose name is the Lord Yahweh of heaven's armies. Long ago, I told you what was going to happen. Then suddenly I took action and all my predictions came true. For I know how stubborn and obstinate you are. Your necks are as unbending as iron. Your heads are as hard as bronze. That is why I told you what would happen. I told you beforehand what I was going to do. Then you could never say my idol did it. My wooden image and metal God commanded it to happen. You have heard my predictions and seen them fulfilled, but you refuse to admit it. Now I will tell you new things, secret things you have not yet heard. They are brand new, not the things from the past, so you cannot say we knew that all the time.
And the main new thing, right, that's being pushed forth and is pushing and shoving against is MOTB. Right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
Man like Zabak always look, let's watch this thing. Yeah, no way he's saying it's sin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right?
That's how you guys.
Oh, that's how you guys see it.
That was the quash, actually.
Yeah,
That had
Quash.
the
big fat
Yeah.
beer. Yeah, big yeah. But the bucket is a man that's he seems like he's sincere. I feel he's sincere,
Yeah.
but something ain't right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Something ain't
You're
right.
sincerely wrong on that.
Good.
Verse 8, it says, yes, I will tell you of things that are entirely new, things you have never heard before. For I know so well what traitors you are. You have been rebels from birth. Yet for my own sake and for the honor of my name, I will hold back my anger and not wipe you out. I have refined you, but not as silver is refined. Rather, I have refined you in the furnace of suffering. I will rescue you from my sake. Yes, for my own sake, I will not let my reputation be tarnished, and I will not share my glory with idols.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what's heavy about that is like, that even includes the elect.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because before we came to this truth, we were doing all kinds of wicked shit. Our us were of that number. But
Various lives.
yeah, various lives. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The mercy is that we had it in us to receive the word and adhere to it and do something about it. Where the rest of Israel is, they hear the word and they take it upon themselves to make money, to mock, to disrespect the Lord. And the Most High is setting them up because he knows who's obstinate, hard-headed, and stiff-necked, right? So he knows you're stiff-necked, so he's going to tell you what's coming because he knows you're stiff-necked anyways.
Right.
So when it happens, you can't say shit.
Yeah. So it goes back to Yahweh knowing that Israel would go off.
Exactly. He said,
That's right.
go ahead and preach to them, but trust me, they're not going to listen to you. We'll tell them the secrets, we're not going to hear you because they didn't hear me first.
And it is showing that things based on predestination.
Yeah.
You can't win yourself in this arena.
That's right.
That lotus position, but then Lord say, well, I'm gonna get it. I'm choosing you, Lord Jesus Christ. That's what I'm saying. Right? And just by eyewitness, you see, that woman's, Sandra, whatever her name is, whatever her name is, talking about in the name of, I rebuke, and she got shot in her face.
That's right.
You know?
Kind of slack. I just said, you guys don't understand that them demons, when I saw that video, them demons, like, on the left-hand side, they wait. The Lord's like, listen, any of my children say Jesus Christ, fuck them up. Any of my children say Jesus Christ, fuck them up.
Yeah.
And she's right there. She said,
I rebuke you.
yeah, in the name of Jesus. The demon's like, oh, right, the Lord told me to take you out. As soon as boom, right in her head.
That's a spirit too, because she's actually caught up in a tradition that is used a lot in the South. Is when water is boiling, you say, I rebuke you in the name of the Spirit. And so that tradition got her killed.
Yeah.
And we know that Psalm 17 and
13, yep.
Yeah.
Sword.
Sword.
I got a quick precept though, because one of you brothers mentioned that the Lord knew that we would go off.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like in Get Out. You Jakes are in a sunken place. You're
Right.
seeing and observing, and you can't do shit.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 31 and 27, it says, the KJV, for I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, this is Moses speaking, ye have been rebellious against the Lord Yahweh, and how much more after my death? Gather unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them.
Wow.
For I know that after my death you will utterly corrupt yourselves, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you. And evil will befall you in the latter days, which is right now, because ye will do evil in the sight of the Lord Yahweh, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands.
Yep.
Precept for me.
Yeah, go ahead. That was another, remember?
Yeah, that was it. So long, man.
Just to back up on the topic of refinement, I was going into before. This book of Proverbs 4 verse 18. Actually, I heard this from the other Pastor Ramla the first time when I heard it. It says the path of the just is as the shining light, that shineth more and more until the perfect day.
Yo, see right there. It's not, read that again, brother.
Correct. Yeah. This book of Proverbs 4 verse 18. And says, but the path of the just is as the shining light, that shineth more and more to the perfect day. Right? Right? And as we're going into the process of the refinement, right? When the truth when it first came out, they had to go through a process. So we go into the same process too. Like we're going to go to the process of purification of a metal. It takes process, right? So as we're going into the truth started at first the Bible was going to the Old Testament, and one that the elder of Jesus came in, preparing the New Testament.
Yeah.
And now as the elders came in, they should grow up more education. So this truth is getting more and more, shining more and more as time goes on. Even I was stuck, to say our stock is going up more and more as the day goes by.
Yeah.
So really, we're in the best case that's scenario. This truth is actually getting better and better as the days goes by. We are being more protected.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? That's a good point, because I think in Revelation says, come by me, gold tried in the fire. And that's just knowledge. So this knowledge has been tried. Like the men that our forefathers and the men that have relied on this truth and named the Lord, when they were in the fire, the scriptures say, has anybody relied on the Lord and been forsaken? And they haven't. So
and this truth keeps getting refined, more and more purified, man. For you brothers that know these guys, they come and they go, man.
Yeah.
Throughout the years,
That's right.
you had all kinds of demons come, man.
That's right.
Saying Esau's not the white man,
Right.
saying, there's hell. And these guys keep getting recycled, in different vessels, man. They just keep coming back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I got a quick precept. This is Proverbs 9 and 2, because you're talking about furnished. I'll start at 1. It says, wisdom hath builded her house. She hath hewn out her 7 pillars. She hath killed her beasts. She hath mingled her wine. She hath also furnished her table. Right?
Yeah. Goes into, like David said, let their table be a stand. All right. So it's furnished. This is clean. What we're speaking is pure truth, according Yahweh Shem Yahshua via the Holy Spirit, man.
Was that book of Psalms? The word of the Lord is silver purified 7 times.
Right, 7 times.
7
Yeah,
times.
Complete.
Of the script.
That's it on it?
Yeah.
This is Ecclesiasticus 39 and 24. It says, as his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. Right? I'm just going to speak on that real quick because I believe I speak for most brothers when I say this, but when we first heard the truth, it didn't take much for us to accept it. You know what I mean? And then we thought other people in the world, we try and tell our families or whatever, and we would think that they would get it as easily as we did. We got it so easy. We just thinking that you would get it too, right? But that's to show you that the Lord is actually putting a spiritual block on these people.
Yeah.
He's actually rejected, your family members. Not meant for them to get it.
The scripture says, to the pure, all things are pure, and to the unpure, all things
Like
are
defiled.
pure. Yeah, are defiled.
That's right.
So basically, going into.
That's right. It says, for the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour, wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil. And pretty much, when we make use of these things, we actually benefit from it. But the wicked, even Esau, he'll turn these things into a snare.
Yeah.
Right? Went into food, like the dietary that we eat now.
Yeah.
It's all defiled. Esau eat it.
Even when he says he's green, right? Like the mocking of Tesla, right? The company, that's a mocking.
Yeah.
Because those things are terrible for the planet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It seems like, oh, that's the new, okay, no gas,
Yeah.
no petrol.
Yeah.
You have to think about how they manufactured it.
And where did the batteries go after?
Exactly.
A lot of them are not biodegradable. They have a lot of,
Yep.
those pits, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, how are they mined? How are they refined? It's child labor, child slave labor, man. Blood, that.
And this man, remember, he studied. It says the scriptures say he accomplished it the diligent search.
Yeah.
So he found out, okay, we can use water to power engines, hydrogen and different things. There's people that use oil from restaurants.
Right.
He said, this can work, but we're not here for that.
Yeah.
We're not here for that.
This is that. Yeah.
We're the son of perdition.
Yeah, but funny you mention that because it's lithium mining, because that thing is very, very toxic, and it also sparks war. Because a couple months ago, earlier this summer, there was a coup in Costa Rica, and that was because they wanted to put their puppet leader in so they can get the mines. So a lot of people died over that and destabilized the whole country. So that's what it does, man. These mining, all this stuff going green, it causes so much problems, man.
Same thing's happening in the Congo too.
Yep.
Oh yeah, with the whole coal king issue.
There's a gentleman by the name of Dan Gertler who got sanctioned by when Trump was in office because of how he was reaping the benefits out of Congo. And now that Biden's back in, they reinstated him and they decided to partner with him in order to reap those same benefits. And so that's why you see things like the MPOX coming out right now, because it's a great distraction to take your eyes off of what they're doing.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, chemotherapy, man, that's mustard.
Yeah, mustard gas. Yeah,
Mustard gas.
You know,
That's right.
man. So how many people you're killing on one side? All praises to Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
Hey, the Maxine.
Yeah.
Any kind of Maxine, that's a poison.
Yeah.
You can look at the ingredients: aluminum, mercury, spliced monkey gene, red number 80.
Yeah.
You know.
It says his words were smoother than oil. Butter.
Softer than
The
oil.
war was in his heart.
Right.
Right? So here's a man using a word like we're trying to cure cancer. Right? But when you try to cure meat, you're saying I want to preserve this meat. So he's trying to cure cancer. He's trying to preserve it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You're supposed to use salt to preserve, brings flavor and cures. That's all. But
Yeah, they call it curing meat, right?
Got it. Good. This is flesh. Curing the flesh.
Yeah. We know he's not about that.
You said it about that, man. That's not his office. Right? His office is not. He's not like Yahweh Shai.
Right, he's the harbinger of death.
Gun.
Right? He gave a Nobel Peace Prize. I forget the name of the guy, but I think it was in the 30s. He discovered that cancer cannot live where oxygen present body, right? Where oxygen is very high.
Yeah.
And Esau knows that, Slaki. That's why he has oxygen therapy. He'll have those machines, and he sees the benefits of 5 minutes of pumping oxygen in your body.
That's right. Well, when you get hooked up to a gurneys, when you go to the hospital, they give you oxygen.
Yeah,
Preserve you.
true.
You can't charge a dead man, so they keep you alive, so they can hit your insurance.
And you know it doesn't work, right? You know it doesn't work, right? I've been under that. You just sound like Darth Vader the whole time. The point of the Most High was keeping you the whole time.
Of course.
Let me get this real quick. This is Romans 11:7 in the NLT. It says, "So this is the situation. Most of the people of Israel have not found the favor of the Most High they are looking for so earnestly. A few have, the ones the Most High has chosen, but the hearts of the rest were hardened."
That's right. And the word favor isn't about the word comfort. Right? So we're seeking comfort. That's what we think. The comfort is going to be riches. Right? Having being a millionaire, having a nice house and a nice wife, paying your bills.
Yeah.
I don't pay my bills.
Yeah.
That's a mindset of a 2/3. You're thinking, I want to put my children through school. Tim is gonna be a doctor soon, and we're gonna moving on up.
Being economically viable.
God.
Yeah.
When the comfort is here in the scriptures,
Right.
right?
Yeah, sure.
Generational wealth.
That's right.
All of us have family members who spit that garbage
That's right.
Yeah.
in one ear.
That's right.
What are you doing with those guys? There's no generational wealth.
God.
Buy art.
You don't have to.
Pass it down, generation.
Hey, these idiots, they were buying digital
Yeah.
assets.
I see now it's
NFT, the NFT. Yo, that shit is worthless, man.
nothing.
90% decrease in value.
Esau, man.
They were saying that was all used for trafficking.
Okay.
Arden Sanders is trafficking.
Yeah, well, yeah. So,
And because
yeah.
and because Tory Lanez brought light to that, it locked his ass up. That's how he was getting money. Now he's getting rich. But the thing was, he wasn't supposed to stay. He was supposed to be quiet.
Because it pretty much interfered with Esau's the music industry, right? Amalek runs it,
Right.
right? So if you're able to make money and cut out Amalek, he's gonna get that shit. Right?
You can't cut out Amalek.
Yeah.
Well, they put against ordinance. The Most High hate Amalek and the rule. So you trying to cut Amalek out is going against scriptures. It said the earth was in the hands of the wicked. So you try to do something that's against what Yahweh put in place. You're trying to say these curses don't apply to me.
Like that Jake, so I mentioned economically viable when we watched that movie, Falling Down. With no. Michael Douglas, right? When he went on a rampage in the lake, left his car in traffic. There was a Jake outside a bank, and he was holding a sign. He's like, "I'm not economically viable," right? And what does the word viable mean? Goes back to vitality, life. Life able. So you Jakes are now life able. You're living paycheck to paycheck, man. And the ones of you that do come out of that situation, you guys are doing a lot of degenerate things, man. Like Shema, you put up that thing on Twitter. That guy Ariel, he posted all the human sacrifices, the people that this celebrity child died when they were 1. This celebrity child died when they were 4. This all down to presidents and all kinds of people, man. That's the thing that they do. Mariah Carey, look what happened to her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In regards to riches, this is Luke 12 and 16, and it says, "And he told them a story in NLT. Yahushua speaking, a rich man had fertile farm and produced fine crops. he said to himself, what should I do? I don't have room for all my crops. Then he said, I know. I'll tear my barn down and build bigger ones. Then I'll have enough room to store all my wheat and other goods. I'll sit back and say to myself, my friend, you have enough stored away for years to come. Now take it easy. Eat, drink, be merry. But Yahweh said to him, you fool, you will die this very night. Then who will get everything you worked for? Yes, each person is a fool to store up earthly wealth.
Yeah, because you know when you're rich, you like there's a scripture saying prosperity, you can kind of and vice versa. Like obviously he was a fool because when the scriptures say that charity covers a multitude of sins. Like all of us have the Holy Spirit. If any of us come into 50 grand, obviously you have the wisdom to be charitable because you're covering a multitude of sins. You don't know if tomorrow's covered for you or not. You're not coming to 50 grand for no reason. Somebody's testing you. You know what I mean? So this guy, instead of doing that, he said, okay, I'm just gonna double up on my riches. I'm not gonna, give to the poor because he thought he was good because he was rich. You're not righteous just because you're rich. And that's what these leaders, that's what they push. We got the nice garments, we're jet setting over here, 12 tribes worldwide. So we're right, so we're righteous because we're doing good. When the example is the complete opposite. You know?
Yeah, I believe the scripture said the gain is not God.
Yeah. You gotta be wise, man. Money is not wrong.
There's a gain that is not godly.
Godly, yeah. Money is not wrong, but what you do with it is what determines what's wrong or what's right. None of us are righteous. Our filthy rags, our righteousness are filthy rags. So you're better off just being charitable, man. Go ahead.
Just to finish it up, verse 21, it says, yes, a person is a fool to store up earthly wealth, but not a rich relationship with the Most High Yahweh.
That would have made you good with the Most High. You would have came with that money, shared it with the brothers, sitting here, you've been good with the Most High, and that's real riches. Because when all hell breaks loose, and those bank accounts, all the banks have failed, everybody's on the same playing field. Every single person on the same playing field, no matter how rich you were. So now, what determines whether you're rich or not is the spiritual bank account that was torn up. So now, the Most High, that's why the scripture say that, and then they should know that a prophet was among them, because the way the Most High is going to be dealing with those men, and what we've been saying before time, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's doing that.
No, I just wanted to make a quick point. A good example of that we were talking about was Abigail's first husband, Gaul, and then he had a lot of substance, and then when the opportunity came to him to actually help David before he was king, he didn't do it. So that led to his downfall, and the Lord took him out.
Yeah.
Right. So this is an example of somebody who had a substantial amount of wealth, but it didn't make it to good use.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And that was Norman Omen. I was Norman Omen because his name means fool. It meant fool. So that was a Norman Omen.
You chose the wrong stock option on that.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 38:9. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me. Verse 9. Lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is Yahweh, what Yahweh Shai? Or lest I be poor. Hey, and that's Nate, man.
Right.
Nate did a whole breakdown of the name, like the most beautiful breakdown. You can watch it and learn and repeat what he says and verbatim, and you're doing good.
Yeah.
And this man is saying, that the name is Christ, and he's three.
Yeah.
All kind of madness. Right?
And the before means you have everything you want. So you have everything you want, and it says the fashion this world passes away. What is that?
Or lest I be poor. And poor, like this scripture is, like I said last time in the highways, this is a promissory note right here. Right? This is tried, tested, and true. Right? So Esau has his promissory note by way of his first was paper, no, it's plastic, right? And now digital, right? So this is what makes us rich. Right? This is money right here.
Yeah.
Right? For lest I be poor and steal and take the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai in vain. So that the vain there is being wicked.
Yeah.
It's wickedness, man. you're basically cursing the Lord, man. You know, you can call whatever you want to call him. We don't know the name. And now he's the big thing now. We're not Hebrew Israelite. We're not Hebrew Israelites.
Oh, yeah.
The name.
They said that, you sold out.
Of this combination.
You sold out.
And Hebrew is not part of
God.
the.
The doctor, yeah. So they changed his name to his government name. Mike Jones. You know, wait a minute, you know, you give your name up.
Yeah, they tried that before with that yogurt playing Todd, right?
Yogurt.
And that goes into balance too, you know, you gotta have enough to suffice your needs. And that's King David talking, I believe, right?
Proverbs.
Proverbs.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Solomon.
it's Solomon. Because I wasn't like giving either poverty or riches. So basically, you know, Solomon was living an opulent lifestyle. So he understood how you can get carried away. So he's like, you know, it's just better off for me to be balanced and have things that just suffice me in this time, you know, when I'm going about my day to day. It doesn't make sense to have so much because you're gonna end up losing it. But you know, that's not good enough for certain people. You know, people gotta have the whole world like Scarface. You gotta have a water fountain in your home. You know, you gotta have a pyramid of cocaine on your desk. You know, all about, man.
Everything's vanity, huh?
Yeah.
Everything's vanity.
I think the bitches walk around all day. We brothers do I'm come by.
That's also preparing us too for when the chip comes. Because that's why I know Nate's gonna take that chip, denying the chip, the market that he's in the chip, and he has millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So he's not gonna want to lose that.
That's right.
Right?
Okay, hold on, can I back you brothers up real quick? This is Ecclesiastes 2:1, because you brothers speak about Solomon.
I was just there too.
You want to read it?
No, it's okay.
Yeah. I'll read in the NLT, verse 1, 2, and 1. I said to myself, come on, let's try pleasure. Let's look for the good things in life. Good things. But I found that this too was meaningless. So I said, laughter is silly. What good does it to seek pleasure? After much thought, I decided to cheer myself with wine. And while still seeking wisdom, I clutched at foolishness. In this way, I tried to experience the only happiness most people find during their brief life in this world. Right? I also tried to find meaning by building huge homes for myself and by planting beautiful vineyards. I made gardens and parks, filling them with all kinds of fruit trees. I built reservoirs to collect the water to irrigate my many flourishing groves.
Right.
I bought slaves, both men and women, and others were born into my household. I also owned large herds and flocks, more than any of the kings who had lived in Jerusalem before me. I collected great sums of silver and gold, the treasure of many kings and provinces. I hired wonderful singers, both men and women, and had many beautiful concubines. I had everything a man could desire.
Yeah.
So I became greater than all who had lived in Jerusalem before me, and my wisdom never failed me. Anything I wanted, I would take. I denied myself no pleasure. I even found great pleasure in hard work, a reward for all my labors, but I looked at everything I had worked so hard to accomplish. It was all so meaningless, like chasing the wind. There was nothing really worthwhile anywhere. Yep.
Always vanity and vexation of spirit.
That's it.
Matthew?
I have a quick precept. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse, because I was reading this one, because it was mentioned about labor, right?
Yep.
And how it doesn't do you any good. You know, pretty much it's going to go to somebody else when you die. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 15. Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this is also his vanity. For there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever, seeing that which now is in the days to come shall all be forgotten, and how dieth the wise man as the fool. Therefore I hated life, because the work that I wrought is under the sun is grievous unto me, for all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yea, I hated all my labor, which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. You don't know what they're going to do. with your money. You know, you work so hard, especially King Solomon. You know, he had 40 years of peace, and look what happened after that. Just the kingdom went to ruin, went to shit, and they got divided. So he did all that work to keep the peace, to do all these things. You know, the Queen of Sheba came. All these wise, all these people came to get wisdom. Nobody did that after him. All those laborious works. Where's that now? Right? What happened? The only people that are making mention of it are really the elect and really them scholars out there and those wicked rich elite that want to be like him.
Fast forward today, you have these building all these bunkers and storing everything underneath the sun in it. Thank you.
Well, you know what? That shows you that we're immensely blessed now. We have the true riches, things that last forever. Right? It's what we're doing. We're not like it's a blessed thing that we're not caught up in the things that our forefathers were. You know, when they had to be, even though some of us are our forefathers, you know, they had to be a testament for us. You know, things are written aforetime, written for our learning. So, you know, Solomon had to find out everything he found out so that we would know now, none of that shit matters. You know, things that store up and makes you be remembered and lasts you forever is what you do for the Lord. That's why he said at the end of it all, no.
It was all meaningless, pretty much. It was like chasing the wind.
All the duty of man is just to serve the Lord. That's what he said.
This is the conclusion of the whole matter.
This is the conclusion. So the conclusion of the whole matter is just to serve the Lord, because in his mind, obviously came to the conclusion. That's what's going to be remembered, because that sticks with the Lord. You see, so what we're doing now, what we know now, we know more than all of them. Also, we know more than Solomon as Solomon, but not as Yahushua.
So it's beautiful that you said that because it's going back into the memorial.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's a blessed thing that what we're doing and you know, having a mindset of spiritual riches.
That's a rallying cry. It's fear Yahweh and keep his commandments.
Yeah,
that's your duty, man.
Yeah.
What is the truth, Lord? That's it.
That's it.
Done.
That's it. Yep.
Someone had a precept.
Yeah, it was the
Here, Matthew 6. This is Matthew 6, and I'll start at 9. The main point is at 11. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread.
Yeah.
Right? That's where the balance comes in. And we don't need, that's what the scripture says, we're probably in the riches.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's all we need.
Exactly. And you know, like some of us are going through things to force us to learn that. Some of us have riches and we're just learning that with the riches. You know, either way, you're gonna have that characteristic in Jacob's trouble. Because if you can't apply that, then you might get succumbed when a day or two goes by, you're not taking a shower, or you don't get your daily whatever that you used to get when everything was good. You know, you don't want to be taken by that. You know, so it's a like. Anyways, for me personally, it's a good thing. Like, of course, all brothers, believe the same thing, but it's a good thing when we're suffering, because you can't receive the fruits of the spirit without suffering. You know, those fruits of the spirit is what's going to get us going in Jacob's trouble, man. You know,
also the Most High chastises who he loves.
Exactly.
So when you go to chastisement, that's one of the spiritual things. Never anything where the Lord is not mindful of.
Exactly.
Right? Whatever it is, Lord's doing it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Whatever it is, man.
Yeah. Like you had this boxer, Marvin Hagler, marvelous.
Yeah,
Marvelous. He said it's hard to get out of silk sheets at 5 a.m. and go run, do your road work, man.
Right.
And pretty much he's saying, look, it's hard when you're affluent, you have all these riches, you're comfortable now,
Yeah.
you have the mansion, you have, but it's a discipline, right?
That's right.
It happened to Rocky, man. Right?
And that's why the Lord said, not many rich. There are brothers who have small fortunes.
Yeah.
They have a business, they might have two businesses.
Right.
Right, but best believe they are doing their part in this ministry. They're not just that's
Yeah.
he's here. No, but he's he's a member of the body.
Yeah.
Mr. Jake,
I think someone was holding on. Yeah, go ahead. There you go.
I was holding Ecclesiasticus 31, verse 5. He that loveth gold shall not be justified, and he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. Gold hath been the ruin of many, and their destruction was present. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, and every fool shall be taken therewith. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish, and hath not gone after gold.
And the rich in spirit. You know, and that's where the blessing, you know, is handed over to the one who was subscribed, right? And he's on the banner of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, right? The Bible say it's impossible for a rich man to go through the
Yeah, which is very hard.
God.
Very, very hard. Not
They
very
said,
likely.
the silk sheet thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to run today, man.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why people, you know, they talk shit about Mayweather, but he's disciplined. Right?
God.
This
Yeah.
dude, he would literally be chilling and talking to you at a restaurant, 11 o'clock, and then he just go for a run. In his jeans, in his jean jacket, jeans is okay. I gotta go run. I gotta wake up and do this. And do that. Right?
He trains every day. Every day he's in the gym.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. Kind
That's not the standard. That's the exception, right? People, you know, people think, oh yeah, I'll do that too. Like, you better really know yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you better, you
A lot of these boxers, when they get their time off, they smoke, they drink,
Yeah.
eat all kinds of
and
candy.
they get 30 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Like Oscar De La Hoya, man. That's why you got caught wearing a dress.
Right.
You know?
He was having too much fun.
Tights and shit.
What you call it.
Lingerie.
Fucking yeah. Heels and boxing gloves.
Right.
Crazy.
That was it, Tamar?
Yeah, that was it. What did you
Or
say?
Shamas, like.
Yeah, what did you say to Senator Sharp?
Every man is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, every man, right?
He's probably talking about their brotherhood though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Every brother, yeah, every brother is
Pretty much true.
every man in the brotherhood. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I got this. This is Sirach 29 and verse 8 in the GNT. It says, nevertheless, be understanding with those who are poor. Don't keep them waiting for your generosity. The Lord has commanded us to help the poor. Don't refuse them the help they need. It is better to lose your money by helping a relative or a friend than to lose it by letting it rust away under a rock somewhere.
Right.
Use your wealth as the Most High has commanded.
Right.
This will do you more good than keeping your money for yourself.
Yeah. That's a heavy blessing. Like the Most High, you know, have you come into money and you have wits about yourself. This is an opportunity to cover a lot of sins. That's right. And that's why the scripture said what it says. If you're given a certain amount of wealth, the Most High is giving you an opportunity to cover a lot of sins. Just like Tobit told Tobias, his son. You know, charity covers a multitude of sin.
That's right. Hey, there's a treasury in the camp.
Yeah.
Right, which works like a bank account.
Yeah.
That's a bank.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah.
a storehouse for brothers.
Yeah.
When brothers need help, you can help that by, like you said, if you come into money,
Yeah.
you give at least a
Portion.
tithe,
Yeah.
at 10%.
Yeah.
Right, at least, and then
Yeah.
you can give alms,
Yeah.
which covers more sin.
Con.
Verse 12, it says, count among your treasures the fact that you give to the poor. It will save you from all kinds of trouble and will be a better defense against your enemies than the strongest shield or stoutest spear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, the apostles have been heavy on giving. I remember when I don't know if they were before, but I just remember when it wasn't too big, when they were giving money to the homeless when they're out there. It wasn't too big, and then all of a sudden the Spirit just started having it happen so much more. And it makes sense because it says to your fellow brethren, we don't know who is it.
Yeah.
So that's a spiritual thing. So like anytime I have change, instead of spending it, I just keep it in the pocket. Just in case someone asks me, okay, here's $2 or whatever. You don't know, you be helping the Israelite. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, he never told us to go to the stock market, take his money and do it. You brought up the thing about the barns, right? You were reading? Yeah, that's what that's going into. It's for this house. It's his house, right? And that's where the blessing starts. In terms of the spiritual blessing, it's going to come by breath and fire. Simply put, man. So yeah, it's very important in regards to that singular thing that he has set up. That's his example. Hey, and none of you camps, you can't say anything about that, right? Because if you go back and check your stuff, because you're always coming against us, man. And that's prophecy. But you know what? You keep doing what you're doing because this is the Lord's show, right? And his house is here as an example. right? So I'm just saying, I'm just saying that, I'm thinking out here simply saying that, the Lord's stuff is straight, right? And his elect is gonna go through some fire for it, right? And that's what we're simply saying in spirit and in truth, right? And we're asking him not to remove that fire, his breath and his fire, his action. But yeah, it's a singular house. So we're not gonna take his money and invest it in the world, in the stock market, with Tesla and all the foolishness, all that foolishness. It's for his house.
That's heaping sin upon sin.
Have a scripture?
Yeah, Kabbalah told him to go.
Because we're going to material wealth, and like so you have these people that try to start up wealth on this side, knowing that this stuff's gonna perish, this stuff's only temporary. Like the truth that we have, this is eternal, this is forever. Like as we go, in the next kingdom, the work that we do is gonna be recognized in the kingdom, right? The book of Ezekiel, continue verse 9, and it says, and mine hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people, neither shall there shall they be written in the writings of the house of Israel, neither shall they enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Right? So like these guys, people try to give France on this side, they try to pile up wealth on this side, that it's gonna perish. This is not temporary. But the kingdom, what they do is gonna be honestly the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
I have a precept after strong love.
Matthew 5:3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So guys like the IUIC, they call us the bomb camp.
Exactly. I was just thinking.
And then call us bombs and call us bombites and all that stuff.
Quoting the law. Well, you might as well help us out then. Yeah. Send a donation.
Yeah. It said, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. So we're the ones that's actually all here. We're doing our videos. We're all in the highways and byways, and we're being righteous to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
And we're not like these guys, who boast up, who's very boastful, and then scoff.
Yeah. In their own works.
So blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Yahweh. Right? So these guys, they're not pure in heart. They're very evil, but they like to have a big smile.
Seed of Moses.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah.
So blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of Yahweh. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So we're going to be persecuted, right? With this whole state of trouble, this whole new system of what's going to come, right? We're going to be persecuted, and we're going to take it, cheerfully, right?
Yep, that's right.
So blessed are ye when ye shall be reviled and persecuted, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. So these guys, they call us rapists and all these different stuff, all this slander, and we're just using it we're just going into the law, right? About you have a young woman at a certain age, like in the West, in the ancient world, but they like to say, that we're rapists and a whole bunch of slander, man. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. So we're going to be persecuted. They're going to talk all kinds. They're going to slander, right? But the elect is going to be saved. These guys, they're going to go on a big campaign against us.
Yep.
All these different Israelite camps.
Yep. They want this society to strive on. This is where their riches are. It's not in heaven for them. They're not. They can't see the kingdom of heaven being bestowed here on earth like we can see it.
Done.
You know?
And they're gonna get the RFID in their flesh. Definitely. But they're gonna want to call themselves Israelites or keeping the commandments, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna have this thing in their arm.
Yeah. And even within GMS,
Yeah.
you know, we
Yeah,
have
we're
to
gonna
be
be
completely honest too, within GMS too. Brother had that dream with the man who had the sword, you know, and he was trying to find them and stuff. And it was heavy because the two brothers who had the same spirit didn't have to see it, and then they had to get checked. And then the device said that they had it, so it was a malfunction. But one brother had it, and he had a sword, and he was trying to find them and explain himself. And then they turned the corner, and the one brother who had the sword couldn't see him anymore. So they were, you know, utter darkness, cut off.
We're gonna be tried, right? Because to be a part of the society, you know, like to live in your house or whatever, like you're gonna have to have that RFID. So we're all gonna be tried, all of us, right? So it's serious times, right?
People aren't ready to do without.
Serious, man. We're gonna be homeless. You know, all of us, we might have nice homes and shit. We're gonna be homeless out here.
So we're gonna show you that.
Yeah.
They weren't ready.
Yeah,
They're not ready to lose.
yeah, exactly,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
Real quick here, because I was mentioning about the stock market, about investing into that. But there's a spiritual stock market that we're supposed to invest in, and that investment's going to pay off in the end. You know, and that investment you made is really to get the kingdom of heaven in a new body, man, to inherit all things under Yahushua. So it's a good time to invest in the Word and in His truth, and that's for those who can see it. Right? They'll invest. So this is Matthew chapter 6, verse 19. And I'm going to go back and forth in the NLT. So it says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. And the Commonwealth was going into the NLTV, and that's how they're going to steal from you. They're going to steal your money, and then on top of that, they're going to try and steal your soul, your connection with the Lord.
That's right.
So it boils down to you having that faith, man. What are you going to invest in? Are you really believe in the Lord? Because we're going to come into that test. When you mentioned the dream about the brother, you know, that was for members or men in GMS and their families. You know, so a lot of men are going to fail the test. And you know what? That's just how it's set up, right? But right now you have a chance, you know, because now you're able to hear the words and to really consider it. So what are you going to do? Right? So it says, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt. Because, you know, these are spiritual riches. These spiritual riches can't be stolen. They can't wither away like this paper money. They can't be debased, like coin shrinking and all that. The Lord doesn't do that because the Lord likes a just weight. You know, an unjust weight is a false balance, is an abomination in the sight of the Lord. A false balance. So what you're investing in, it's always going to hold its value. The money we have in our pocket will always lose its value. This man's word will always lose its value. He always goes back on his word. But this word is always for sure. It's always 100%. 1 cent, 1 penny, 2 pennies, that's 2 pennies in the sight of the Lord. $100, that's $100 in the sight of the Lord, and will never be devalued.
It's always appreciated.
Right.
You know, it always goes up.
Sure.
Yeah, that's right.
And real quick, finish it off. It says, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light is indeed the darkness, how great is that darkness? So man, you gotta have a pure mind, you know, when investing as well. You know, a lot of investors, you know, sometimes, especially gamblers, because really, if you're an investor, you're like a gambler too. You know, a lot of gamblers sometimes they don't sometimes invest if they don't see it fit to invest. So you have to be for sure to invest or put down a gamble. Sometimes that can take a while. So for new brothers that are coming in, you know, sometimes it may take you a while to come into this truth. Sometimes when you brothers come into this faith, sometimes you might fall short a bit. you might lose your faith like a doubting Thomas. But you know what? You still have to keep your faith and still push forward. You know, that's just some words of exhortation, you know.
Absolutely.
It's a scripture, let every man be fully persuaded in
His
his own
own
mind.
mind. Yeah,
So it's gradualism. Like
exactly.
you're saying about the stocks, you gotta do your research.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, what's this token? What's this coin? What's this stock?
Yeah.
I gotta do my research. What's this company?
Count the
What's
cost.
their history,
count the cost,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
And we have to go through an experience.
Yeah.
Different experience, right?
Come on.
And you can't give yourself a pure mind.
No.
All right. So it says keep your mind single. So you got to stay focused on the truth of the Most High can purify your mind. You know, because you don't just get a pure mind if you want it, but when you stay focused on, you know, the truth and the ministry and the kingdom of heaven, the Most High purify your mind through that process of doing that.
Last verse, verse 24, it says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one.
So these guys who are like millionaires, are they gonna be able? Are they gonna lose all their millions?
If not, if they're of the elect. If they're of the elect, yeah, but if they're not, nope. Yeah.
You highly doubt it.
Yeah, highly, yeah, 100%, man. 100%.
And it says, and despise the other, you cannot serve the Most High and Mammon.
Yeah.
That's it.
What?
So this is Matthew 19:27 in the NLT. Then Peter said to him, we've given up everything to follow you.
Right.
What will we get? Yahushua replied, I assure you that when the world is made new and the Son of Man sits upon his glorious throne, you will have been my followers, will also sit on 12 thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone who has given up houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or child or property for my name's sake will receive 100 times as much in return and will inherit eternal life. But many who are the greatest now will be least important then, and those who seem least important now will be the greatest then.
Yeah, that's a big shout out to JMS and all the other camps. We're the most hated, we're the least, right? You know, IUIC is the top camp, right? It's supposedly the top camp. You know, Nate's the top leader of all Israel, supposedly. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I was trying to, you know, speak it up.
He has to duke it out with Johanna.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not what do you call it? A bishop.
Yeah, he's a king,
He's a general.
great king, general, whatever, man. So, yeah, I was trying to speak in facts, and those guys are going to make the least in the kingdom of heaven, because Daniel 12:1, right? Some, 12 and 3. Some shall wake up to everlasting shame and contempt, and others to glory, roughly paraphrasing. So, they're going to have, you know, they're still Israelites, but when they wake up in the kingdom of heaven, they're going to remember all their wickedness from now to the beginning, and they're going to be in shame for a while. You know, that's why, you know, for a time now, I've been saying that 1,000 years, I really just believe is for the hopeful elect to live it up. It only makes sense. And for that 1,000 years, 2/3 are going to be coming back, remembering their bullshit, just being sorrowful, while the heathens were going to beat the wickedness that Esau's been teaching you out of you for 1,000 years. So it's just going to be the hopeful elect doing their thing in that 1,000 years.
It's gonna be a slow 1,000 years. That's right.
Exactly.
It's very good slow 1,000.
Steady.
Yep.
I don't feel like forever.
That was it? This is Luke 19:12, NLT. It says, he said, a nobleman was called away to a distant empire to be crowned king and then returned. Before he left, he called together 10 of his servants and divided among them 10 pounds of silver, saying, invest this for me while I'm gone. But his people hated him and sent a delegation after him to say, we do not want him to be our king.
Wow.
After he was crowned king, he returned and called in the servants to whom he had given the money. He wanted to find out what their profits were. The first servant reported, Master, I invested your money and made 10 times the original amount. Well done, the king exclaimed. You are a good servant. You have been faithful with the little I entrusted to you. So you will be governor of 10 cities as your reward. The next servant reported, Master, I invested your money and made 5 times the original amount. Well done, the king said. You will be governor over 5 cities. But the third servant brought back only the original amount of money and said, Master, I hid your money and kept it safe. I was afraid because you were a hard man to deal with, taking what isn't yours and harvesting crops you didn't plant. You wicked servant, the king roared. Your own words condemn you.
Exactly.
If you knew that I'm a hard man who takes what isn't mine and harvests crops I didn't plant, why didn't you deposit my money in the bank?
Exactly.
At least I could have gotten some interest on it. Then, turning to the others standing nearby, the king ordered, take the money from this servant and give it to the one who has 10 pounds. But master, they said, he already has 10 pounds. Yes, the king replied, and to those who use well what they're given, even more will be given. But from those who do nothing, even that little they have will be taken away.
I remember 2007, 2008, there was only like a handful of like brothers in New York City, right? Who was, like you had the Great Millstone, and you had other camps, right? But you had like the Great Millstone with the whole YouTube era, and that woke up a lot of like a potential elect, right?
Yeah.
2008, 2009, you know, and now the elect is being scattered. I'm sorry, it's being enlightened. Worldwide.
Yeah, but you should also never look down on your own lot, because if you're only given a certain amount, the scripture said, if you did good with what you were given, it'd be doubled that as a reward. So you should never look down on your lot, whether it's here or there or wherever it is. Don't look down on your lot because you don't know the reward that comes with that lot. If you do well with it,
there's bonuses, man.
There's bonuses. Exactly, bonuses.
It said the weakest of you shall be as David. So come on.
So it's like into a person who has this truth and it sits on the computer, it's like, show one knock. Go on, but you don't see him in the highway, the Bible is teaching what they know. He's keeping it for himself.
Yeah.
Right.
It has to grow.
That's right.
Appreciation, you said?
That's right.
Depreciation?
Yeah. We go up there, and plant the seeds.
Yeah.
And the most says bring me fruit for repentance.
Yeah, meat for repentance. Yeah, that's right, man. And then there's no excuses, right? They said, "Well, you fool, your own words condemn you. You knew I was like this."
That's right.
And that's why the apostles and the elders all said, we have to think about what we're involved in. Count the cost. Yeah, exactly. This is a very serious thing.
It's pretty much you're getting an upgrade either way, man.
Right. Exactly.
So whatever your small lot is, you're gonna get an upgrade anyway.
Exactly.
And you're gonna have things that you never fathomed. Right? Pertaining to Isaiah, eye had not seen, ear had not heard, what the Lord has prepared for those who wait upon him. Right? So whatever your idea of cool is on the right hand side, whatever you're gonna get even more. I just want to bring this quick out. Zechariah 12:8. In that day shall the Lord Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of the Lord Yahweh before them. In the NLT, it says, on that day the Lord Yahweh will defend the people of Jerusalem. The weakest among them will be as mighty as King David, and the royal descendants will be like the Most High, like the angel of the Lord Yahweh who goes before them. So, there's levels.
Yeah, there's levels, man. Yeah. I got something real quick, just pertaining to riches. Sirach, also known as Ecclesiastes 14:3. It says, riches are not commonly for a niggard. And a niggard is someone who's stingy, right? Right. And it says, riches are not commonly for a niggard, and what should an envious man do with money? So that just shows you that riches are not really for the wicked, right? Riches are not for someone. Riches are for righteous men that fear the Lord, really, right? Because it says a niggard is not a rich is not commonly for a niggard. So a niggard is someone who's stingy and envious of everything around him and himself. Comes into 50 grand. He's not gonna be righteous with that, right? But like Job, he was a righteous man. He had everything in the land. He was the richest of that land. But that's why he had those riches, because he was a righteous man. King Solomon too.
And to have money doesn't mean you're gonna continue to have money. Like, just because you get money,
True.
you have to know how to deal with the money,
True.
right?
Yeah.
It's not like you just get it. Oh, I have a small fortune. Now I'm good. I'm set.
No,
You have to have order.
it's right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like even if you have land back in the day, you have to wonder. Okay, is there going to be a drought?
Fine.
Is it, you know what I mean? How's my crops going to come out this year?
Yeah, you gotta plan ahead.
You know, you're not just
Yeah.
sitting there like, okay, yeah, we just wait till harvest and reap.
Joseph knew that well.
You know,
Yeah.
You know,
And they say also, that scripture reminds me of people like with the lottery, like you should kind of like what's the book before.
Yeah,
Like, the lottery, you feel like they have a big, you know, a lot of things there, like once like, you know, the money, once it actually become worse than before.
yeah.
if
A
people
lot
don't,
of these entertainers who are like rappers and singers and shit, they have a lot of money, millions, and they end up broke. Like look at like Mike Tyson, you know, and all those type of people.
yeah, they don't know that you need to know about money. You can hire people. You can get a financial advisor. These top elites, they have people.
Yeah,
They
they
have,
don't fuck around.
you know what I mean?
And then there's the flip side of that. There's a lot of the aspiring artists who are better than what's really out there, that never make it because the elite know beforehand what kind of spirit they have and what they're gonna do for their so-called community and the people around them.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
can foresee if you already have good money management before they even give it to you. So that might prevent you from getting a quote unquote deal with Amalek. Because
That's true.
they can see, oh, this guy's good money, we're not gonna give him the deal. We want to give it to a nigga.
Yeah,
You
instead
know?
of burning.
Yeah, you know, and he's gonna come back to Amalek and on his knees, like begging to go back to be in the industry. Amalek, give me more millions. I was like, yeah, you want more millions? This is what you gotta do. You gotta beg over for Amalek.
What you're talking about is real life scenarios. That happen all
Hey,
the
somebody
time.
open the door for your WhatsApp in the back.
All the time. They end up going to jail and doing all this, that, and the third, just so they can get a re-up on money.
Correct. Yeah. Gotta go on the hamster wheel again.
Amalek don't like a smart Jake, right? You want to do it, you want to do it dummy.
Yeah.
That's why he can sell you fake diamonds and shit like that. You know, diamonds that are worth nothing. But leave it up to Jake to be the one to market it like it's worth something.
Yep, and even take it and imprint it on their forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said fake diamonds, but even the real diamonds, they're not.
Oh yeah.
But they have lab grown diamonds.
Yeah,
too.
that too. Yeah.
Artificial.
Yeah. Artificial diamond.
Give this nigga some glass.
Yeah. And you sell it to you like 100 times over.
Jake, all the jewelry, yeah.
It was a Jake. He just bought $1 million worth of jewelry for his mouth. Shit, my brother did a video on it, but it's to show you the gut of Jake. I mean, I don't even say the gut.
Riches are not coming for a
Yeah.
good argument.
Jake doesn't even know what good jewelry is.
Right.
Like
right. He doesn't know
there's
that.
one rapper, who's that guy? E40. E40.
40.
This dude had a chain, and the guy's like, "What is that?" He's like, "This is Byzantine." He's like, he says, "This is Byzantine gold." Yeah. He said, "Because there's a style that Byzantine gold is, right? If you look up Byzantine jewelry, yeah." So he knows what's up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
Proverbs 23:5, I'm looking for. Labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom. Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven.
Hey, what was that video of Lord Rothschild? It was a movie, right? Where he was telling his son,
Yeah,
on the deathbed, and he said, "Look, during times of war, right, the enemy steals the gold.
Right.
During times of peace, it's thieves on the
Yeah.
road because you gotta travel, carry that shit, right?"
Right.
Yep. So
Yeah, he broke it down. Different
You
stages.
got the formula for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
oh, and Slacky, and that word, when I read Luke, right? Because you mentioned bank. Why didn't you put in the bank?
Oh yeah.
Right? The word. What does the word bank mean? It's a table.
Yeah.
Right? Because in the ancient world, you went. That's your balance. It's called your balance. What do you owe? What's on the table?
Right.
So we're at the great table of the Lord.
Right.
Right? We're talking about furnishing. Right? We're at the table of the Lord. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Also, bench.
Yeah.
Bench. Yeah. That's another Shema?
There's some more.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was done, but yeah, this is nice. Verse 6, NLT, don't eat with people who are stingy. Don't desire their delicacies. They are always thinking about how much it costs. Eat and drink, they say, but they don't need it.
gonna give you 50,000, but I want 500,000 back.
With interest.
It's on that?
Money to which is Ecclesiastes 5 and 10. NLT, those who love money will never have enough. How meaningless to think that wealth bring you true happiness.
Hey, the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, but the love.
Yeah.
Like if it's right.
That's right.
He that loves money.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm rich, bitch.
Verse 11, the more you have, the more people come to help you to spend it. So while you're
They call it, you know what they call it? They had a show back in the day. Entourage.
Entourage. Yeah,
Entourage. That's a fucking entourage. That's why when Jake gets famous and big, after a few years, after maybe a couple years, they're like, yo, I gotta cut 50 people off. You guys are just, you know, leeches, man.
MC Hammer, what happened to him?
Come on. Yeah, all these Mayweather, he cuts a lot of people off. Right?
Mike Tyson had a big entourage.
He's just hanging at the house all day,
Yeah.
eating food, using the hydro, you know, in the jacuzzi, using the sauna. You go in the sauna, nigga. He's there every time.
It reads, so what good is wealth except perhaps to watch it slip through your fingers? You know, most of these people that are rich, someone when they're sick, they don't have time to enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right? So they're just foolish. What else is right?
Sure. Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. When thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it, so shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High Yahweh.
Yeah, like you get a message on Instagram, Shalom, this is brother. I need $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always get those. Shalom.
Brother gets or you know what? I'll even say even a brother from another camp, because everything has to be done decently and in order, right? If his head doesn't know what's going on and he's asking, brother, because people do that. They'll ask, oh, I know this guy, I know him. Let me get 500 from him, 1,000 from him, and they just keep turning it, right? There's a lot of examples like that.
Yeah.
So you got to know, you know, what you're doing, who you're doing it to,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Adama was like that. You know, he was just asking guys for money, and people were just giving him tithes, and then he ran off with it. So that's why there's protocols.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of scam artists in the truth too, man.
There's a couple of them that fell out like recently, right? In America. I forgot what state he was in, but he was doing the same thing.
North Carolina.
Yeah, one of them.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Talking about your Adon,
No.
the former head of Atlanta too. He was
His own father told me he started seeing the teeth.
And stops it.
I remember seeing that. Who's reading?
We had, with this second, we had that in the camp, in our camp. Talk about it,
Oh,
bro.
yeah, with me, yeah.
Yeah, so it's,
In you too. Yeah.
Yeah, so some brother, we don't know, right? He was came on a couple times to our camp. And when he approached me, he said, "Yo, Dad, you know, I'm going through hell." Holler, you know.
The same guy?
He
came to the camp?
came a couple times.
He was checking me too.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, he checked me.
He asked me if I could help him. I was like, dude, like, there's protocol here, man. You know, like,
Yeah.
I need to talk to the higher ups. I'm not the guy you're supposed to be talking
He hasn't been back since. I haven't seen him since that day.
That's true.
Oh, that's it. You know, he came to the camp like one time.
I'm talking about the tall guy.
Yeah.
Oh, the tall guy.
Yeah.
He came up to me half.
The one with the fro?
Yeah.
You came out in the summertime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently.
I was wondering, I think mom today. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, that was too. In the spirit.
I was like, what's going on?
I haven't seen him in a while.
He hasn't come back since, that was the last time I saw him.
Well, continuing on. It says, verse 3. Well, yeah, just before I add on, because where was his works to prove that he was worthy of even receiving that? You know what I mean? Where's his track record? You know? But then you want to
ask for money. That shouldn't be in your mind, man.
Yeah.
You should be trying to build up your spirit. Build up your foundation in this truth.
Yeah.
Not thinking about money,
A lot of
watching for
it-
riches.
Yeah, a lot of Israelites just don't know what they're involved in.
Yeah,
They don't
man.
know what this is.
It's not no charity event, man. It's not no sit on your ass and get paid and ask people for help, man. You gotta still put in work for yourself.
And some of us, we have to work too.
Yeah.
We don't really have money like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when we can give, we will.
That's what the scriptures say. Every man work with their own hands,
Yep.
Right, yeah.
labor. Right?
Yeah.
We're not rich and it's not a charity event, man. Everybody has to put in the work for himself as well.
Mhm.
Verse 3 says, there can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil. Or maybe he's idling. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not doing nothing with his time, obviously. I don't know. Nor to him that giveth no alms. Give to the godly man and help not a sinner. Right? So give to a man that put in work, he fell on hard times and you can give up to that man. You know what I mean? You trust him and you know he needs it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a balance of giving money. Right? Verse 5, do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Right? Hold back thy bread and give it not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby.
Yeah, a lot of you citizens of Israel are doing that to these false leaders. You're giving all your tithes and all your money, which, hey, we're good. We're always taking care of us, but you're falling under that banner. You're giving your tithes and money to leaders that are leading you to a ditch. The scriptures say both the blind and the blind shall both fall into the ditch. You're setting yourself up, basically.
It says, for else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done.
Exactly. So you're giving all your money to guys who are wrongfully breaking down the MOTV. And it's not like you don't hear the apostles and elders and brothers talking about the MOTV and what it is, but you choose to basically follow the false leaders and give your money to them. Not like this is about a money thing, but you're paying your tithes because you believe they're telling you the truth. So when all hell breaks loose and everybody's tried with that MOTV, it says twice evil is going to fall upon you.
And also, they're paying their tithes, thinking that they're paying their way into heaven.
Exactly.
I paid my tithes. I'm good. I'm holier than I'm better than you. That's the Christian way.
This is Elijah. This is the man of the Lord.
Yeah. It says, verse 6, for the Most High hateth sinners and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Give unto the good, help not the sinner. A friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity.
True.
That's pretty much the point.
And when things are good, you can't tell really who your friends are,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, and this guy, he came in and said those things. We don't know who this guy is, right? And things are happening in the spirit. That's the whole point. That's what this man saw. But then he sized up the men that he wanted to hook on, right? You came with all your wicked ways still, man. Okay, you got to change that. You got to drop that, right? We don't even know where you are, right? You're probably watching this video now, or you may, the Lord might make you watch this. You need to check in the spirit. That's the counsel. That's a serious thing.
Hey, and then you know what? It says in prosperity, right now, everything's okay, but even going back to that dream the brother had, and he saw that had the sword on him, he said that was a brother in the camp with him. And he was cool with the brother in the camp. Very cool with him. But then in troubled times, obviously an enemy is known in trouble, and a friend is not known in prosperity, whatever. So you're gonna know who's who when all hell breaks loose. There's gonna be signs of spirit dealing with you and whatnot in that time.
Because some of them are gonna say, "Oh, I had to get it."
And that's what that brother was saying.
Yeah.
He's trying to explain himself.
So I'm gonna say that. I mean,
My kids, my wife.
I'm not gonna be homeless.
This is 2 Thessalonians 3:6. Now we commend you, brethren, in the name of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, that ye withdraw yourselves from every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the tradition which he received of us. I'm going to jump to the NLT, verse 7. For you know that you ought to imitate us. We were not idle when we were with you. We never accepted food from anyone without paying for it. We worked hard day and night so we would not be a burden to any of you. We certainly had the right to ask you to feed us, but we wanted to give you an example to follow. Even while we were with you and gave you this command, those unwilling to work will not get to eat. Yet we hear that some of you are living idle lives, refusing to work and meddling in other people's business. Right? We command such people and urge them in the name of the Lord Yahushua and Mashiach to settle down and work to earn their own living.
Yeah. Some brothers, they hop from job to job and get fired at a job and go to the next job, get fired at a job because they can't deal with a woman being their boss, a Jake woman, or Edomite woman. It's like, don't you know we're in captivity? You know what I mean? That's like, you're like the elder just read, man. You're given a job. All of us have to bear burdens in our jobs. And give on to Caesar what Caesar. You can't just quit your job because you're an Israelite and that's a heathen.
What's scripture? Look up what you said before, brother can ask for money. This is the book of Acts 3 verse 1. It says, now Peter and John went up together into the temple at the hour of prayer in the ninth hour, and a certain man born from his mother's womb was carried, whom they laid daily at the gates of the temple, which is called Beautiful, to ask alms of them that entered into the temple. Who seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple, asked an alms. And Peter, fastening his eyes upon him with John, said, look on us. And he gave heed unto them, expecting to receive something of them. Then Peter said, silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, I give thee. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach of Nazareth, rise up and walk. And he took him by the right hand and lifted him up. And immediately his feet and ankle bones received strength. Right, so that's what we have, right? It's truth.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what he was attracted to. He attracted to the Lord at the beginning, but then we saw what was really in the intent of his heart by their fruits. So you got to check him spiritually.
I know, right? He pretty much tried to, which perceived that he would foresee it, but he pretty much tried to use our kindness as weakness. So he came in a certain way, humble or whatever, quiet, weak, whatever, but really he had ulterior motives.
He's a flop.
Yeah.
Just a plan.
Yeah, exactly.
So not everybody survives. It's not everybody survives.
He's like, all right, if I move a certain way, they won't yell at me, they won't curse me out, they won't shoot me off, right? So that was his mind, his game plan.
Should go to IRIC. Yeah. Maybe that might help him on.
Yeah. But the man's word was, don't try to get something give me. Look, he got something to give me.
The man drives a fucking Benz, man.
Go join the IRIC.
Yeah, he has a Benz.
Yeah.
I've seen it. He has a black Benz.
Wow.
I've seen him. That's the first time I've seen him in there.
If you have
Maybe
wicked,
downgrade your car, bro. Like that.
if you have wicked thoughts, man, you gotta repent. You don't know what you're going on in your mind, but you have wicked thoughts, man, you gotta repent. It's wicked.
I'm a quick script. Proverbs 20:4. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold, therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing.
Yep. And that's twofold. That's
Exactly.
that's literal, and
Exactly.
Jake said don't want to labor.
Right.
With the elements.
Right?
So the harvest, what's the
Big
harvest?
trouble. Yeah.
And the end of the world.
The end of the world, yeah.
Right? You're gonna fail, man.
That's right. Revelation 14 says, reap, for the harvest is ripe.
Hey, some men the most that set up where they can have like a 3-course meal. And some men the ones that set up that they have one meal every second day. That's a lot.
It is. Many sons, you can't treat them all the same, huh? They all have different personalities.
And then there's tests for both those brothers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. There's tests for the brother that's higher to not look lower on those brothers.
That's right.
And then there's tests for those brothers that are lower to not envy and not be, just bugged out.
That's right. That's right.
With the brothers like low on funds, and the brother don't tell you he's low on funds. You can see the brother's low on funds. But I got this, man. Like, okay, you got it. All right, cool, cool.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Brother need to tell you that he's low fun. You can tell.
yeah.
You know, if you're spiritual man, says, brother, you know, you don't have what I have. I might have a bit in my pocket, and I have like some change. And talk about, I'm not that hungry either, brother. He would have, you know.
Well, that's how you know a true friend. A true friend, you don't have to ask. They see what you're going through.
That's right.
Yeah.
I got a quick one. Ecclesiastes 7:12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. When I was a young man, a younger man living in the States, I had a girlfriend, and she always tried to push to get this waterfront house. And I was like, baby, by the time we finish putting all the hours, we're never going to enjoy this waterfront view you're talking about, right? And that's the way of the world. They always pushing and pushing to achieve things that it don't serve you at all.
Yeah. I got some real quick. That's it. Back up a Sharp's point about being rich, but being sick and not being able to enjoy your riches.
The majority of the time, Slaki, you so-called progress in society, you're actually going more in debt.
Yeah,
You're becoming more of a debt slave.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Incurring debt.
So Rock 30 and 14. Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution. Can my brother look at the word constitution? It says, then a rich man that is afflicted in his body. Health, verse 15, health and good estate of the body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. Right? So obviously, what's it called? That profit a little. How did Paul say?
Exercise, but
Profit a little, but it's still good. Obviously the apostles are in that spirit for a while now. Take care of your health, take care of your body, exercise, go on a walk, do what you gotta do to exercise your body. And Apostle Ramam said this, and it's a really good point. He said, he perceives in the spirit, roughly paraphrasing, not word for word, but he perceives in the spirit that that's happening because of the time we're coming into. You're gonna have to be able to go a day or two without food. You're gonna have to be able to walk kilometers. You know what I mean? Without feeling all wayward and whatnot. We're gonna have to be able to do certain things. So that's why and it's starting with those ancient men. A lot of us are a little bit younger, some of us a little older, but those ancient men are old. Apostle Bard, he had a 10-pound vest. You don't have to do this, but he has a 10-pound vest going on, 30-mile bike rides. And he's an old man.
Yeah, he did, I think, a 9-mile hike.
With 9-mile hike with a 10-pound vest. So obviously, especially for us younger brothers, man, we should be fervent in that,
That's basketball training.
Yeah. And verse 15 says, health and the good estate of the body.
That's that ancient warrior training, because remember,
Their armor, right?
all you did was walk. Unless you were a top lieutenant or general, you were in a carriage. Or a horse, maybe.
That's true.
Or you might have 50, 60 pounds of armor walking.
Yeah, that's true.
For miles.
It's true.
However far the general says that day, that's all. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that shit. Keep going.
Yeah.
Want to be tired behind enemy lines.
Hey, what about Hannibal?
Yeah.
They crossed the Alps. With elephants.
Right.
Right. Diet.
Yeah.
Coming across those.
You might have lost an eye.
There was an Edomite. I think he was kidnapped by the cartel or some shit in South America, not Mexico, but I think Brazil or somewhere there. And he said, they were every day they hiked. They would move, right? But they would go through these terrains. And he's like, man, I'm fit. I have to go to the gym, but I can't do this. It was crazy, because I had like a maybe 40-pound backpack or something. He said just walking, these guys would do like nothing. They were at a pace. You think walking is just walking, but that's a workout, man.
My cousin, he's a sergeant in the U.S. military. And he was telling me a minimum is 10 kilometers you're walking. And that's just to a point. So that's a minimum 10 kilometers. So it's more too. It's a part of being a warrior.
They say that's the regiment that the 3 regiments that Jake lacks is water, sleep, and walking.
Yeah.
Jake likes to be at home, chilling.
That's in the tent. That's in the spirit too. Brother got that.
I got the word.
Okay.
Constitution in the Edom Online. Constitution, law, regulation, edict from Old French. Constitution, establishment from Latin, act of settling, settled condition. Anything arranged or settled upon, regulation, order, ordinance.
Right.
So the order of your body, the constitution, the regulation of your body.
Yeah.
Shout that guy, that DJ who
Fat Man.
Fat Man at school, right?
But
He's
you know,
about to perform. And he's like, everybody's like, this body.
When they do it.
so hey man, your body is a physical representation of your mind.
Fat Man.
Right? People who are overweight like that, because it starts with your mind. So your constitution, right? We're talking about that self-discipline.
It is that big pun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just he needed a seat, a chair to perform live raps at the end of his life.
Yeah, I was in the studio with Kanye,
He was
and
too much.
he would record in the chair, and he would do piece by piece. And Mike used to be, his name was Mike. He used to be very slim. He used to be slim, you know, Slim Brothers.
Yeah, he used to be into basketball.
Yeah.
He was actually really good.
Yeah, they said that somebody put the brujeria on him, and
You can hear that dude in Big Pun spits, but you can hear that lymphatic mucus congestion. You know what I'm saying? Like when you know about health, you hear how he spits good, but damn clogged arteries and all that shit, man.
See what Biggie?
Yep.
Same thing. Yeah, it's true.
So hold on one second. It says down here the last part, constituere, to cause to stand, set up, fix, place, establish, set in order.
It starts with your mind, man.
yeah, there's I guess the sense of legally, it's a body of fundamental principles or established precedents according to which a state or other organization is acknowledged to the government.
Oh, it says principles.
Yeah.
And you read about keeping your eyes single. Right? Your principles are the principal things, the things that are most important to you.
Yeah, fundamental principles.
Yeah, so what's most important to you is the kingdom of heaven. Right? So there's, like, and some brothers are overweight, that's between them and the Most High, but obviously you don't want to be overweight.
That goes into what do you call them? Infirmities.
Yeah.
You have brothers that are fit, they might have diabetes.
Right.
You have brothers,
That's
you know what I mean?
That's
Like
true. That's true. No, you're right.
There's an order you can tell that like me personally, I used to be very overweight, and I got in that order from the apostles to get into health and things like that.
Yeah.
But there's some brothers that it doesn't matter what they do. They might have a metabolic dysfunction.
That's true.
Where they're hormonal, it may go deep to the point where the Lord's just not. You're going to be in this lot.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true.
There's a composition of something, the genetic constitution of a species, and a person's physical state as it regards vitality, health, and strength.
Last verse here, Surah 30 and 16. I didn't finish 15. Health and a good state of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Your mind.
Sorry, brother. There's another one here. Constitution also goes into a person's character.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, so that's it. That's it for me.
Yeah, I got one here in Romans 12, right? Because keeping the theme of we're in that eve of blowing the trumpets, and the precept was read Leviticus going back to the laws, right? And the Spirit working, right? The breath and the fire, okay? The breath and the fire, right? The fire, that's an action word as well, in regards to the works of the Spirit working, getting the dry bones in order, right? Bone on bone, flesh on flesh, and so forth like that. So this is Romans 12, 1 and 2, right? And we know who wrote Romans. A lot of people don't like this book. Don't know why, but mostly Israelites. It says here, I beseech thee, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, of power, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto your power, which is your reasonable service.
That's what we're doing. We're going out there, winter, summer, all season, man. And against the elements, concrete,
And even outside the teaching, you could be a warrior on the highways and byways and on your lessons, but when the lessons cut off and the highway byways are done, what are you doing with yourself too? You gotta be a living sacrifice daily, morning and night and all that kind of stuff. These bodies that we're given are given to be a sacrifice to the Lord, like you just read. Just like Yahushai's body that was given to him as Yahushua was given to be a sacrifice to the Lord.
Verse 2, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of our power, Yehovah Hashem Yahushai.
Yeah.
Right. Verse 3, I'm just going to read to 4. It says, for I say through the grace, because that word came up, right? The word favor. That's what that's going to give, right? And starting with that sacrifice, starting with the fire, the breath and fire, and that's what is given, but it is a process that we will go through in spirit and in truth, right? So it says here, verse 3, for I say through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as our power, Jehovah Hashem Yahushai, has dealt to every man the measure of faith. Right? And this brother read he went into the house,
the barn,
the barns, and you wicked people love to build a lot of barns. Right? But there's only one barn. It's the house of David. Right? And it's a spiritual house. And it starts there and it's going to end there. There's nothing that you can say or do to get us to go off. Right? Because the Lord is in control of that. It's not men. Right?
Yeah, sure. They don't believe. If you're trying to build a bunch of barns in the society or whatever, and sustain a business and all this stuff within Esau's game, you really don't believe in the truth. You have no faith in the truth. Is it on that?
Yeah, that actually is the point. When you folks to continue on, as the younger men read this, it's a beautiful chapter because it brings together the theme. That's what Paul is pointing to the power, right? That's going to guide us, right? That gives us the breath and gives us the fire to live in spirit and in truth, right? Both sides, his perfect will and his express will. Sorry, his permissive will. Let me say it that way, right? It's a perfect will and a permissive will, right? That controls sides, all sides. That's the point.
Done. All right, so with that, we're going to close up. All this was edifying to the hopeful elect, the nation of Israel. We give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh,
Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Rakadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders and the bishops of the great millstone who rule well and have taught us his word in truth and sincerity, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. Let's push this word in truth and sincerity across the whole coast of the earth, and the rest of us sincerely believe. Above all, Shabbat Shalom.